The Honourable Sandra Carr.
President, thank you. I rise a bit like molten lava as this matter goes to the very core of my values and belief in equality and equity. I'll get to the source of that frustration in a moment, but please know, having based my teaching philosophy over the years on prioritising the well-being of young people, this matter to me is of the utmost importance. There are concerning rumblings back in my hometown that forced me to my feet today. And as I speak, know that what drives me is the wonderful young people who have passed through my classroom door over the years and the good many like them. I'm pleased to state here in this place for them and all young people that the McGowan government has a strong record of supporting equality for all people, including those in the LGBTQI community, and promoting diversity in our state. We say that gay conversion therapy, or whatever semantic gymnastics one might like to perform to call it by another name, is not therapeutic and can cause mental harm to LGBTQI people. Indeed, the evidence shows us that it does. The McGowan government is committed to banning forms of the practice of conversion therapy through the implementation of the National Code of Conduct for unregulated healthcare workers. If the introduction of legislation and/or regulation is necessary to give effect to that code, that will be looked at. This is about taking responsibility for the social impact of our actions and caring for our young people. Conversion therapy is dangerous and a discredited process. It is based on an erroneous principle that being LGBTQI is a mental illness that should be cured, despite all major medical association agreement that LGBTQI identities are a normal part of the human identity spectrum. The Trevor Project's 2020 National Survey on LGBTQ youth mental health revealed 10% of LGBTQI youth reported undergoing conversion therapy, with 78% reporting it occurred when they were under the age of 18. Youth who reported undergoing conversion therapy also reported more than double the rate of suicide attempts in the past year compared to those who did not. Twice the rate of suicide attempts. Those are real consequences as the result of the actions of others. A peer-reviewed study published by the Trevor Project in the American Journal of Public Health found that LGBTQI youth who underwent conversion therapy were also more likely to having attempted suicide, and more than 2.5 times more likely to report multiple suicide attempts in the past year. As a result of the therapy, young people report feelings of shame, guilt, helplessness, hopelessness, loss of faith, decreased self-esteem, self-hatred, self-withdrawal, feeling dehumanised and untrue to self, depression, increased substance abuse, high-risk sexual behaviours and suicidal ideation. No small consequences for your actions. Minors are especially vulnerable, and conversion therapy can lead to depression, anxiety, drug use, homelessness and suicide. Alarmingly, new research reveals the harms of religion-based LGBTQI conversion practices may be far more severe than previously believed, resulting in complex trauma. It is not a mental illness requiring cure, and many LGBTQI people live in fear of spiritual, emotional and social impacts of failure to fix or cure themselves, which can also result in them being rejected by their faith, family and community. However, research to date has shown that conversion practices are ineffective, which is unsurprising given they're based upon a fundamentally flawed premise. Health practitioners report the harms of this practice to include chronic trauma, complex trauma experience, with survivors demonstrating symptoms of PTSD. It is for this reason that I urge all groups, all communities, all those in decision-making positions to consider the impact of their actions upon our young people. I urge them to consider the consequences of their actions and to consider our young people. I also urge shires and councils to consider their responsibility in enabling and catering for the well-being of our young people. Decisions must be made on evidence and matters of fact and based on the values they purport to support. For example, the City of Greater Geraldton has made clear its organisational stance on gender equality through its commitment to signing on to the Community Respect and Equality Initiative, and therefore they must factor this organisational value statement into their decision-making processes across the full range of services they offer. Our community leaders must be prepared to take a stance on things more important than the issue of whether or not one can don a pair of board shorts to a particular ceremony. We must act responsibly and take an evidence-based approach. In the case of conversion therapy, the harms are direct and the evidence of those harms compelling. Thus, the responsibility to care for our young people falls directly at organisational decision-makers' feet. For those left alarmed, traumatised, upset, angered by the ill-informed judgment of decision-makers, I'm here, I support you, you are not alone. I look forward to Wear It Purple Day next Friday the 27th of August, a day to demonstrate our support and solidarity with the LGBTQI community. Support I offer on that day and every day, and that is the truth of it.